Hey guys, what's up? Back with another video, and today we're going to do a review of the final pay-per-view of 2018. We have WWE TLC. So let's get this underway, shall we? We've got 10 matches to go through. First off, we kicked off with Carmella and R-Truth taking on Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox in the finals of the Mixed Match Challenge. This was exactly what it needed to be. It was harmless fun. It didn't outstay its welcome. It was the Mixed Match Challenge. It was also co-streaming on Facebook Watch at the time, so it was the finals of the Mixed Match Challenge. And the winners got to enter number 30 in the Royal Rumble, so there was big stakes for it for this kind of comedy match. It didn't, as I said, it was harmless fun and it didn't outstay its welcome. R-Truth and Carmella pick up the victory, and we move on to the next match. I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. Next matchup, we have the Sheamus and Cesaro, The Bar, taking on the New Day of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, taking on Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, the Usos, for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. This was a fantastic opener. Well, I would say opener, but it was technically the second match. This is what I think what should have been the opener if it wasn't for the Mixed Match Challenge match. A great start to TLC. Both teams were great. I mean, all three teams were great. And New Day and the Usos tried to do the high flying while The Bar tried to, ground and pound them. And Sheamus and Cesaro ended up winning with the bro kick on Xavier Woods. Great match. Awesome stuff between these three teams, as to be expected by these three teams. Next matchup, we have Baron Corbin taking on Braun Strowman in a TLC match. This was more than a segment than a match, because Braun Strowman couldn't really do much because he had elbow surgery. So they basically had all the baby faces who Baron Corbin had wronged as general manager. He was the acting general manager at the time, so all the people that Baron Corbin had wronged as general manager came out and beat up Baron Corbin and allowed Braun Strowman allow Braun Strowman to put the foot on the chest of Baron Corbin to get the pin. So yeah, Braun Strowman gets the title shot. Also, he fought at the Royal Rumble, and Baron Corbin is no longer the general manager. So it was a feel good segment, but not much of a match. So yeah, it was a good segment, but not much of a match. Next matchup, we had Ruby Riott taking on Natalya in a tables match. This was pretty interesting. I can't remember the last time there was a women's feud in WWE that didn't revolve around the championship. This one was, so this was pretty interesting. This was all built around Natalya getting revenge on the Riot Squad, because over the passing of her dad, Jim Neidhart, basically Ruby Riott had broken some sunglasses that belonged to Jim Neidhart, and Natalya wanted revenge because they were insulting her by bringing up who recently passed away in August of 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So it was very close to this, only a couple months removed from the passing of Jim Neidhart. I feel like it was a bit tasteless, but I'm just glad that Natalya did get the victory here. It would have been totally something that WWE would have done around this time to have Natalya have this storyline involving her dead father, and then she loses in the end. But she didn't. She got the revenge. She put all three members of the Riot Squad, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan, through multiple tables, and she got the win. So good, big thumbs up for that one. Big thumbs up. Next matchup, we had Drew McIntyre taking on Finn Balor. This was a very surprising result. I thought, Drew McIntyre had not lost that much in the year of 2018. It was usually Dolph Ziggler who would lose in their tag team. But Drew McIntyre, now a singles wrestler, after breaking up with Dolph Ziggler, and he went to face the Demon, or not the Demon, Finn Balor, and it was a pretty solid matchup. But knowing exactly what I know now about it, with Finn Balor getting the title shot instead of Braun Strowman at the Royal Rumble, it makes total sense why Finn Balor picks up the victory here in a very decent matchup. I really thought the match was really decent. It had some shenanigans with Dolph Ziggler trying to interfere, but it kind of protected Drew McIntyre in defeat because he got distracted trying to smack Dolph Ziggler with a steel chair, and end up backfiring, and he ended up losing the match thanks to a coup de grace from Finn Balor. But yeah, great win for Finn Balor, and he set him up perfectly for a match against Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Next matchup, we had another surprising result. We had Randy Orton taking on Rey Mysterio in a chairs match. This was an okay matchup. I thought Randy Orton was in his elements at time. With the chairs and how the follicle he was being. He was very sadistic with his movements, and I thought Randy came off really good in this match. But Rey Mysterio does sneak out the victory with a roll-up. I was very surprised because I thought Randy Orton was very good in this match, and I thought he was going to destroy the legend of Rey Mysterio. Wasn't to be. Rey Mysterio picks up the victory, but it's still a very decent matchup. As we move on to the next matchup, very surprised with the outcome. Next matchup, we have the Raw Women's Championship on the line. We have Ronda Rousey defending the Raw Women's title against Nia Jax. Awesome matchup. This culminates the Ronda Rousey's first year in WWE, and what an impressive year she had in her first year in WWE in 2018. One of my favorite runs of she really did great. She really did great. I was very happy for Ronda Rousey in the year 2018 going into 2019. I thought she really had a good start in WWE. Her second run, to be exact, I mean, I thought it was okay, but not as good as the first. So Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax, we had a great match. Ronda Rousey, very surprisingly, was able to bring out a good match in Nia Jax. These two had a great match at Money in the Bank, but it didn't really have a finish because Alexa Bliss cashed in Money in the Bank on Nia Jax. So this was the match for them two that didn't have a person interfering and so it had a unique finish with Ronda Rousey picking up the victory over Nia. Great match, fantastic stuff. Nothing to complain about here. It was the big giant being taken down by Ronda Rousey with unique submissions, and nothing bad to say about this. Ronda Rousey is awesome, and we move on to the next matchup, which was the Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles match for the WWE Championship. These two did have a match the following month at the Royal Rumble, which was just after the Women's Royal Rumble, and the crowd were dead. This one had a great crowd, and the match was awesome. Great match between AJ and Daniel Bryan, as to be expected between these two great wrestlers. And Daniel Bryan sneaks out the win with the small package, his favorite maneuver, the small package. Mr. Small Package himself, Daniel Bryan, picks up the victory, countering AJ's small package into his own small package. That's a Ring of Honor thing for Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson at the time. He used to win a lot with the small package in Ring of Honor, so he called himself Mr. Small Package, so that's where that comes from. And he pins AJ with the small package. I've said small package a lot there, but it was a really great match. Next matchup, we have the most disappointing match of the night. We had Seth Rollins taking on Dean Ambrose in a blood feud for the Intercontinental Championship. This one was very disappointing. It was probably the worst match of the night. It was just the wrong match to have for this feud. This came off, Roman Reigns had been diagnosed with leukemia, so he had to go home for a bit, and on the night that he announced that he had leukemia, Dean Ambrose turned on Seth Rollins and the Shield, turning heel on the Shield, which should have made this feud a fucking blood feud, but instead they went down the cheap road of just making Dean Ambrose a typical, just a cheap heel. Like, he was mocking the fans for saying that they had diseases and stuff like that, and he came out with a gas mask. It just being a stupid. It just came off very stupid. It was very very cheap, and they took something that could have been really good in the feud and they turned it into this crap. So yeah, very bad. And then of course the match itself started with a lockup. They actually locked up. They actually did a lockup to start the match, and I was like, that's not. They should be going out, having like a anything goes kind of match, not a fucking typical wrestling match. Because the feud didn't call for a wrestling match. It called for a fight, and this was nothing. This was anything but. And also, it didn't help that Renee, Dean Ambrose's wife, was on commentary at the time, and Corey Graves kept poking it basically to try like, oh, how's Dean Ambrose at home, Renee? And Renee had to kind of feel like she was being targeted, and of course, just bickering back and forth, and it just made the match unbearable. There with another fact as well, that the fans didn't really give a shit about it. I think they expected a better fight rather than a wrestling match. and there was a lot of chance of boring and just quietness throughout the match. Yeah, very disappointing. Yeah, I've seen better matches between these two. This was probably the worst match I've ever seen between these two. And Dean Ambrose picks up the victory to become the Intercontinental Champion. Not that it matters, because by the time we got to the very next pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble, Dean nor Seth were the Intercontinental Champion. Bobby Lashley was, so kind of was pointless. I know they had to take the title off Rollins because he was going to win the Royal Rumble the following month, but it didn't really do anything for Dean. And of course, this is probably one of the reasons why Dean Ambrose is no longer Dean Ambrose in WWE, and he fucked off to the company, to another company. So yeah, bad match. Fuck that match. Let's move on to the main event, which was this match right here. We have Becky Lynch taking on Charlotte Flair and Asuka in a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This picked up right where the Dean Ambrose match crapped to the bed. This match was awesome. It picked my mood right back up to where it should be, where it was heading into the second to last match. But yeah, great match right here, great main event. Becky and Charlotte. This is what Becky and Charlotte proved what Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins should have been, which was a personal. These two felt like they hated each other, and they whacked each other. They beat the shit out of each other with kendo sticks. Asuka was also there, being awesome with the kicks and the awesomeness. And yeah, great match, great main event. And of course, it all came down to Ronda Rousey screwing the Queen and the Man, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, screwing them to basically confirm that the triple threat match going into WrestleMania the next year. Of course, Asuka was overshadowed by Ronda Rousey a little bit, but there again, it's nothing new because Ronda Rousey's debut at the Royal Rumble kind of overshadowed Asuka's Royal Rumble win. So it was just the sign of the times for the Asuka in the year 2018, always getting overshadowed by Ronda, which never led to a match. I would have loved to see Asuka versus Ronda Rousey in a match, but we never got that one. But it is what it is. But yeah, great match. Great pay-per-view overall. I really enjoyed this pay-per-view apart from that match right there, Seth and Dean. Just very disappointing. That match was very disappointing, but the rest of the show, very enjoyable. I'm glad that I got this out the way. I'm glad I got this pay-per-view done because it's been a long time coming. Started doing these 2018 ones back in 2023, but of course a lot has happened since then. I lost my favorite wrestler in Bray, and just a lot of mental stuff in the head where wasn't really feeling it, and I'm glad that I've gotten 2018 out the way. So thanks for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, by the way, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Before I forget, I gave this pay-per-view an 8 out of 10. I thought it was awesome, apart from that match right there. So yeah, great. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being awesome, and I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next video, whenever that may be. Until next time, guys, much love and peace.